Greetings and welcome to our series of weekly devotionals. This week we're taking a look at a passage in the book of Acts that sort of deals with this contrast between Peter and John, Jesus' disciples, and some of the powers that be in their society. You know, there's a sort of a running joke in my family that if there's some kind of a problem or some type of situation, some type of crisis, the first reaction is not to figure out how to solve the problem, how to resolve the situation. The first priority is figuring out who to blame. Whose fault is this? And I'm sort of joking, but it sort of is true. And I think, certainly, I think all of us tend to do that sort of thing, to blame, to judge others, and certainly persons of faith throughout history have played the blame game, and certainly Christians have as well. I remember back during the AIDS crisis, lots of Christians responded by saying this was God punishing the homosexual community for their sinful ways. I remember. Even when the situation with COVID started, some Christians were asking, who is God punishing? Who's to blame for this situation? And of course, in the scriptures, many Christians have blamed Jews for various sins. Of course, for killing and rejecting Jesus, it was the Jews. And I mention this because the Jews is mentioned over 30 times in the book of Acts, and it has often been misinterpreted and abused by Christians to blame the Jewish community for various sins, and it has been used to persecute in terrible ways Jewish people. But a couple of verses in this passage, verses 5 and 6, point out pretty clearly that it is not the Jews, specifically the Jewish population, but it is more the Jewish ruling elite. The next day, in verse 5, the next day their rulers, elders, and scribes assembled in Jerusalem with Annas, the high priest, Caiaphas, John, and Alexander, and all who were of the high priestly family. So these two verses point out pretty clearly that those who oppose Jesus' disciples, those who were responsible for opposing Peter and John, are not Jewish people. In fact, all of Jesus' disciples were Jewish. Jesus himself was Jewish, but it is those more specifically who were in power, the ruling class, the Jewish ruling elite. And so this points out to us pretty clearly that throughout scriptures, often the opposition to Jesus was not any particular ethnic group or any particular religious group or any type of minority population. But the opposition to Jesus and his disciples, more often than not, is the powers that be. As one scholar suggests in this passage, the good news of Jesus Christ is being stifled by those in authority. And so, for those of us who, relative to the rest of the world, have a fair amount of privilege, we might ask ourselves that question this day. Do we use our authority to stifle the good news, or do we share the good news with those around us? Amen.